I know that lots of you are considering your final web page and have some questions on what is expected of that web page. So I went ahead and provided a link in learning activity number 8. You scroll all the way down to the bottom, information for your final web page. And this is just a Google Doc going over what is expected. I did tell you that you needed to have at least 4 pages. You can define a page as just any kind of thing that clicks you to another site within your own web page. So for this, and these can be in any order you want, but page number, whatever, the introduction to the topic. So give me some background. What is this website about? What's going to be there? What am I going to find? Introduce what you've covered. If you have any articles that talk about teaching of science that you've read this semester, you might want to include a reference or two for that in this introduction page. You may want to include your video of who you are in that introduction page. Any of the other videos and things that you think are important in talking about what science looks like in the elementary classroom. So then we move to the next page, or the next click, resources for teachers. I'm just going to read these. What handy, helpful materials have you come across this semester that could be beneficial for another teacher who wants to be amazing at teaching science in the elementary classroom? They want to integrate effectively. So think about modules you've completed, articles you've read, activities you've done, but also consider, if you include one of those things, give a description so the person who is viewing it knows what they're looking at. You should plan to include some of the things that you've actually completed. So think of the tools video that you created during this lesson, this learning activity. Think of any module reviews, article reviews, anything that would be helpful for another teacher in getting better at teaching science. Then we move to our next page, and this one gets kind of fun. You've gone through probably 10 different learning theories this semester for science education. I want you to pick the one that is most closely aligned to your style of teaching. And I'm going to challenge you to not all pick differentiated instruction. That, in my mind, is what a good teacher does anyway. I included it because I wanted comfort. Aspects of differentiated instruction should be in everything that you do. But what I want from this is the one theory that you've chosen. Give me an overview of why it's a best fit. Describe what it means to teach science in that way. Resources that can aid in your teaching through theoretical lens. So when you explored those web pages, were there sites and resources that help you better understand what science looks like through differentiated instruction, or through STEAM, or through culturally relevant pedagogy? Any of those theories that stuck with you, what resources will help you teach? Then I want some type of visual. For conceptual change, there's this circular model of what it looks like. Show me that, because I think that's going to be a good reference for you in remembering how that comes together. And then number 5, identify an assignment or a resource that was used this semester that you can use for teaching through that theoretical lens. We've done a lot of different activities. You've covered a lot of different things, so find one that will support that type of teaching. And since we figured out our favorite, I also want you to figure out the one that is the least likely. And I'll actually change that because I forgot to do that. I want to know why it doesn't work. What is it about it? Describe what it means to teach science in that way. So you're doing the exact same things that you're doing for your favorite, but I'm trying to get you to think more reflective of why that theory doesn't work for you. What is it about that theory that says, no, I can't do that in my own classroom, it's too hard, or I don't really understand it, or any number of things? You have articles that you've read for both of these. Make it make sense. I don't, and this is another note down here, I don't necessarily want you to give me the same thing you gave me in learning activities 3, 5, and 7. You had one favorite from each of those. I'm asking you to give me one favorite from the whole thing. So you had 10 to 12 theories that you looked at. Which one says, okay, this is what my classroom looks like. This is what I want to strive for my classroom to look like in teaching science. I realize that not everyone teaches science, but I also hope that you have come to the point where you realize everyone can include some science in their classroom. So what is that going to look like? And then the final page, a sample of teaching. You have created a photo journal. So one of the things that I ask for on this page is share your photo journal and do some quick, it doesn't have to be super detailed, but how could you use your photo journal in your classroom? Short lesson, assignment, however you think that can work. I would also include one of the lesson plans that you created. Some of you will have created 2 complete lesson plans. Others will only have created 1, but I would probably include that here. This is the bare minimum of what you need to have, but hopefully this gives you a little more guidance on what's expected. Good luck and have fun.